Hello, guys. This is me, Mr. Tyrex here.
And the Dragon number 95. Nice to meet you all once again.
And I'm Grant Harper of the aka the Emotional Guy.
Hey guys, I'm Lavio Ray. Nice to meet you all.
And we are here in another session of Tyrex Lounge. This time, we're off the Star Wars topics this time. After doing 5 cosmonaut parts, a Savage books, and now we're doing, for our first ever Sonic related stream, the Snake of the Sonic community.
Also, sorry if you guys are hearing that in the back.
Gamerguyd7aces.
Sorry if you guys are hearing that in the back room. My dog is here.
And it is on his video of Archie Sonic versus IDW Sonic.
Now, if people don't know, we are quite the fans of Archie, per se.
Mm-hmm.
Or rather, I didn't fully read the series. I just know bits and pieces of it here and there. But I do like certain characters.
Well, I'm up to past the point where Robotnik gets his robotization upgrades.
I started reading the Archie comics like a few months ago. I stopped at around I think around 26 or 27, but I may get back to it eventually.
Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. I just know of it.
Mm-hmm.
As for me, I have read several parts of the Archie comics in particular. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a fan of those in particular, but I am familiar with their content.
Yeah.
And what I think of IDW, I don't like it.
It's basically just a fanfic trying to adapt from the games, which isn't really, let's just say not all of it is clear point.
Really, I'm just not interested in IDW. Even with Evan Stanley on board, though it is quite the improvement with her work, but still not salvageable.
I think we can pretty much agree that the Zombot arc is literally just The Walking Dead, except it's Sonic. And believe it or not, that was actually going to be in the original Archie content.
Oh, God.
But I've seen people do art of it, and it actually looks better, and how they explain how it would work. Mm-hmm. Though, to be honest, it looks like they're covered in slime for some reason. Like a Nickelodeon slime. And, sorry guys, I gotta go let the dog out, so you guys continue.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say, the Zombot arc is obviously the worst arc in Sonic comics.
Sonic IDW is what happened. It's what happens when you how can I say, subvert every Archie fan's expectations in the Archie's comics and give us this generic shit, and B, after Archie refused to renew the license and give it to IDW, he decided to take the pet project and just turn his own fancy land filled with illogical fallacies and shit.
Thus showing no respect for any Archie fan whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, if I may ask, what does he do in this arc in particular that is disrespectful to Archie fans?
Like making Amy a Mary Sue the tactical leader, though it was retconned in issue 32.
Prolonging the entire arc to more than several issues, which is a pain.
Yeah. Like that.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think I downplayed a little bit more from what I was talking about when I was talking about Archie, because I am not as super familiar with everything in Archie pre-Flynn, but I am familiar with his work. When it comes to everything, at least those things you guys are talking about, that's not him being disrespectful to Archie. That's just his bad habits. Like when it came to Amy being written the way she is, that's not new. He pretty much always has to have at least one character who's just meant to be the competent, quote unquote, leader of the story, and just have them more or less be the manager of what's going on without actually having any characterization that benefits in that story. That's just his writing style. And having overly long arcs, that's also one of his bad habits too. Like the Mecha Sally arc, the Mecha Sally arc, I believe, went on for almost as long as this one, as well as Shattered World in the reboot. That, if I remember correctly, almost got to 30 issues. So Flint, and that's not counting the crossover that happens in the middle. It goes all
like he even puts unnecessary crossovers. Like I do like the concept of Mega Man and Sonic crossing over, but
now you're talking about this. The Worlds Collide incident. Oh boy!
Okay.
I'll say this right now.
I'm
gonna say this right now. Can I please say this?
Yes.
What?
Huck, what they did to Knights of Reala! My gosh, they are literally just Sonic and Shadow because reasons. Even though they are different personalities and how they are respected and such. And the fact that Reala predates Shadow! I'm sorry, I just need to get it off my chest.
Yes, that's like 5 years prior to Sonic Adventure 2.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I usually don't get this angry, but
that's fair. It's really just more about clarifying a couple things. Like when it comes to that crossover, I'm not going to defend the writing quality in it, but I will say that doesn't happen because of Flint. That happens because ultimately the editors pushed him to, which I can see that happen because there's no benefit of throwing that crossover in the middle of his own story arc. I can totally see that.
Yeah. The guy who I'm mad at the most. The guy who I'm mad at the most in the damage to the Archie comics has to be Mike Pellerito.
The assistant editor, like issue 134, who told John Gray to ad lib Carl Boyler's script to include the slap. This is for everyone's expectations.
That and there were like Son Amy fans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know what? I got a hot take for you guys about this one.
Go on.
All right.
I think that was Sally's best moment.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Okay, yeah, I do think that's the reason why Sonic and Sally make a great couple right there, because it just proves that it's just not like a Gary Stu, Mary Sue where it's straightforward.
Well, no, that's not what I meant. And honestly, that's okay. Here's the thing. I say that's one of here's the thing. I've been trying to talk to a bunch of other Sonic fans about Sally in particular, and a lot of them, especially the ones who aren't as huge into the comics, especially aren't huge into Archie, they don't like her. And a lot of it kind of boils down to they can't really, it doesn't really, one of the main things I've been able to get boiled down to, it seems like they just don't like how it seems like she's kind of two-faced in a sense. And that's not because it's not an intentional character trait. And this is kind of new. And this isn't new. Like, even if you go back to the Bible from her original characters, from her original, like, introduction inside AM, this has always kind of been a problem with her, where they, on one hand, try to establish her as this kind of more or less like she's the great leader. She's super welcoming and helpful, and also everyone likes her. And she's supposed to be like the giant princess, and supposed to be like super welcomed by everybody. But she doesn't want to be a princess or treated like one, or for that matter, is constantly being put into an action situation, but still refuses to actually want to be able to do anything that's actually supposed to be physically fighting, that kind of stuff. So the reason why I say that's one of her best moments is more that's probably one of the few moments where we got to see some proper characterization from her and get a strong emotional stronger emotional reaction out of her. Because like before or since, when have we ever gotten a moment that really was able to really that strong of an emotional reaction of anything out of Sally?
And let's not forget how it led up, and how it ended up leading up to the slap part.
No,
it wasn't necessary. It's still.
Oh, say that again? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Even though the slap wasn't fully necessary, let's just say Sally was under full pressure, and how Sonic could have died.
Yeah, like, and it's from her parents, from her father mostly.
Right. And that's the thing. If they actually played into that following afterwards, and especially try having her deal with that dichotomy and really pushing her on that, that probably would have been something that could have led to her could have done something to help her get endeared to the people who still hold that against her. The problem is that one, it's mainly framed from the position of she slaps him because Sonic still wants to go out and be a hero. He still wants to go out and try doing things, and she slaps him ultimately because he's not submitting to he's ultimately not doing what she wants him to do. And that's never really addressed when it comes to as being a part of her character. Now you can argue that she was under a lot of stress for everyone else, but ultimately at the end of the day, that's how that scene is framed: is that she ultimately slaps him for not doing what she wanted him to do.
I'm still not having them together when my story plans are out until later.
I'm not trying to talk you out of the ship. I'm not trying to talk you out of the ship. It's more about when I see people trying to argue. When I see the thing is right now, I'm ultimately trying to really narrow down about Sal's character because she's weirdly fascinating with how it's kind of fascinating to me to see how much of a split there is around her, because I don't think it's all, or honestly I don't even think it's mostly about shipping stuff. I really do think a good chunk of the people who just don't like her really just don't like her as a character, and I'm mostly trying to get a good read on what that is. But I do feel a good chunk of it does come from her character has generally not been handled super well. So I don't think the slap in particular, I don't think is what really solidified. If anything, that was just at least one talking point that helps put people who already don't like her, and they can mention that off. But I guarantee you that scene wasn't there or wasn't drawn that way. It's not like people would still like her, wouldn't like her, because think about it this way: that scene was over 17 years ago at this point.
Yes.
If that, think about every other character in the franchise. Almost all of them have had something that made them look that bad. From Tails doing all that bullshit in House of Cards, a good chunk of Sonic's bad decisions, hell, even Shadow in issue 19. But all of them have been able to come back from, and usually be able to either come back from being considered like the worst, or usually just take it, or usually don't even receive like any negative treatment from that. And everyone just writes it off as bad writing. Sally still gets that criticism for that scene because she ultimately hasn't gotten anything to do since then that can really leave an impression or give people a reason to like her, for people who don't like her.
Levia Ray,
Yes.
Cool Cole says that your audio is a little distorted.
Oh, sorry. Let me see. Can I fix that? Okay, I'm gonna increase this. Okay. A B C D E F G H I J K. How do I sound?
All right, call you text. Just waiting for his response. I got my phone next to me for chat in case we get to the Gamer Guy video eventually.
All right. I was just ultimately. I could just wrap it at this. I just think I don't think the slap is ultimately what quote unquote dooms Sal's character. I think that's just okay. A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P. How do I sound cool? How do I sound cool, Cole?
Sounds okay.
Okay. I'm gonna still keep talking right now until I end up seeing Cool Cole respond back to my text. I'm just gonna try to keep saying whatever I can to see if I have any distortions in my audio or anything wrong with my voice. Can you guys still hear me, or is everything coming through clearly?
I hear you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can hear you too.
Okay.
Some distortion here and there, but it's tolerable.
Okay, I'm gonna try to stay close to my computer. Hopefully it's just not like a audio pitching sort of thing. Basically, I was just trying to say I don't think the I do think the slap honestly could have been one of her best scenes if they just committed to the fact of that weird dichotomy and actually follow through with her own control, follow through with her control issues, follow through with the control issues, and actually had that be one of her main character conflicts throughout the rest, for at least a good chunk of the story after that. But ultimately, that just kind of ends up just being this weird what the fuck moment. It's never followed up on, but she also never gets another moment to really endear herself to the audience, especially for people who don't like her. So I would just say I don't think the slap is ultimately causes the downfall of anything. It's just a good no point. It's just a good point. It's just a good point for a good thing. It's just one reference point that people can mention if they already don't like her.
Oh, yeah, that is a really good point you have.
Thank you.
So you want to get on to the video now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Also, before we start, you guys might be wondering what happened to Dumbsville's Gamerguyd busted video. Well, Gamerguyd took down the video for God knows what. Even though Dumbsville showed evidence, but he edited YouTube poop style. Dumbsville wanted to show you evidence, show some of Gamerguyd's content, but Gamerguyd's an asshole, and Gamerguyd took it down regardless. Thankfully, though, I archived it. I archived the video.
And someone else did too, and re-uploaded it to YouTube.
But Dumbsville told him this person took it down. So
yeah, Dylan Thomas ain't giving shits.
And it pretty much deleted the old Gamerguyd video and just remastered it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would Gamerguyd just all of a sudden just delete Dumbsville's video?
Such a shame. A single slap started a whole conflict in the fandom.
Yes.
All right. Now, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Oh god.
Hey, what's up, fam? It's Gamerguyd7aces here. And all right, this video, this is actually something I've been wanting to make for a very long time, since last month. It's almost June, but since April. As you guys know, April marked the first.
Like a chipmunk.
Well, that's because I had to edit it, so that way the bot can't track it.
Good job.
And the color of the screen color too is different.
This is clever, boy. Clever.
Clever indeed.
I want to mirror it because it would be hard to see.
Understanding.
IDW comics, and I wanted to make this video comparing my opinions, what I think about IDW versus the Archie comics. Now, the IDW comics, I just started reading them the beginning of this year in January. Of course, because that's when I was starting on making Sonic Rebound.
Okay, you were starting to make on Sonic Rebound and reading it at the same time in January?
As you guys know, as you guys already know, Sonic Rebound is based on the IDW comics.
Yes, which we'll get to eventually.
Oh yeah.
Or animated adaptation series.
Coco said, this man is a total asswipe.
Ha!
He also said he pitched it nice.
Yeah.
Because I don't want bots picking it up.
Gamerguyd has bots. Does Gamerguyd takes down videos manually or just use bots?
Uses bots too in his Dumbsville video.
You want to know something? I watched the Sonic movie on my birthday a few days, and well, I like to compare this to the Jim Carrey Robotnik, because he had robots. Is that bad? Is that bad?
Yeah. No.
No.
Okay.
Idea in the fall of last year. So far, I've read all of them except that TSR Team Sonic Racing one shot. I'll get to that later, but I've read all the art. There have been right now. They're currently on season 2 of Sonic IDW comics,
which is the worst arc ever.
And they have had their.
In my
currently
opinion.
on their 5th arc. The first arc was the Fallout arc. That's the arc I'm currently adapting right now in Sonic Rebound. And the second arc was the fate of Dr. Eggman. Third arc was the Island. The 4th arc is the Infection.
And they're so wasted here.
What's the
Yeah.
point bringing them here? They'll belong
Oh
here.
no, I can tell you that because Flynn need to find a way to introduce these guys so they could show up in the final. So it makes sense for them to show up in the final arc, in the zombie arc, even though it still doesn't make any fucking sense.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and we don't
it's
see
like
what happens to them during that point.
it's like a certain but what didn't make any fucking sense whatsoever is the Zeddies showing up at the end of the Zombot arc.
Why did they have to pretty much show up?
Oh, I can also answer that because Flynn needed to establish that Sonic and Eggman have a Joker and Batman relationship. So in order to, instead, and he probably couldn't come up with a good way for them to do a fight in the final for that arc. So instead, he ended up having the Zeddy come in, and they end up taking over so they can do a mini boss rush, and Sonic and Eggman can end up having that one-on-one at the end, have that one-on-one in the final part of the arc.
I could do far better when it comes to writing these sort of things.
I'm sure you can.
Even
Really,
with certain characters, I try.
Well, here's the thing. I guarantee you that you can, because this is okay. Flynn has a lot of problems. Like I probably come up with a really long list for them when it comes to his bad habits. But when it comes to this, and this is something I'm honestly going to use Evan Stanley as a measurement for when I get through the rest of our arc. It's fast. He has this weird thing about quantity over quality. He has a weird thing about when it comes to having story arcs and having like major story, when it comes to having when it comes to having cast, instead of having like a central 5 to 7 characters, like 5 to 8 characters he can focus on and focus on their relationships and interactions, he just crams as many characters as he can into a story because that's what he thinks being good is. Like he did this in the pre-boot and pretty much got the main cast up to I think about 20 at one point. And in the reboot, it got to above 12. It got to above 12. It got to one
Seriously,
point
to the
at
point
12.
where not even the main characters were that interested, and you're just rooting for, shall we say, the egg bosses or pretty much some of the side characters or slight different villains.
Right.
That isn't Eggman.
Yes, okay, for the Zombot arc, pretty much Eggman should have been the main villain.
Yes.
Period.
I think Dylan Thomas brought up on how the Zombot arc could have been fixed. It could have been shorter, and that it was Metal Sonic the whole time. Yeah, he's the one who made that stuff.
Well, that's the thing. This had been bothering me for a while, especially reading through the whole damn thing, because I was like, "What is the point of this?" Because I could not figure out what the point of this whole damn thing was. And then I got to the end, and it hit me. The whole point of having this arc was to justify why Sonic doesn't immediately try capturing Eggman every single time. Because at the end of the day, the whole point is establishing that Sonic has hope that he will end up turning good one day.
No.
Even though he's gone a second apocalypse. Yeah, I know it's stupid for both in universe and as meta commentary. I don't really, but the worst thing about it is, even if I could argue that it was a good position, there was no reason it should have been 20. There's no reason this arc should have gone on for 20 issues. If we count that sorry excuse of an epilogue, that was 20 issues.
Also, Cole says quantity over quality. Sounds like channel awesome activity.
Nice, yep. Cole! Nice!
Hi,
hey, Ray! There you are! Oi!
Let's get back to the video. How long are we?
We're only a minute in there, and we got 8 minutes and 59 minutes left.
Okay, actually, before we go, I want to go and say this. I'm not going to put hardcore money, but I haven't seen this video yet. But I'm going to make a prediction right now. He's going to talk about how good it is, but he's never going to actually give any actual describe any actual moments or go into any particular things about the comic other than just saying it's good over and over again and just at best saying that the art is good.
I see.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happens in this video.
Yeah. I'll talk about why at the end, but
it's really bad when some people can actually do far better explanations as to why they actually like IDW for some reasons. I mean, you can like what you like, just don't pretty much bash on others for liking something else or Or
Mhm.
basically
Yeah,
be a
don't
jerk
be
about it.
DX fan 619.
DX fan 619. Yeah, I know some artists like draw well likes IEW Sonic, and he respects my tier maker on Sonic comic characters in general. So.
I mean, heck, I myself basically put in a little bit of
My
lore
God.
for at least one of the egg bosses, at least.
Anyway, let's press on.
Yeah.
Which I am really loving because it just has a lot of horror thematic elements in it, like The Walking Dead. Is the Crisis City arc. That's what we're currently on, and they're going to have issue 17 next month. They're going to introduce Cream, the rabbit, her mother Vanilla, and Emerald, I think. So yeah, so what do I think?
Well, Gemerald, and yeah, that was not a good issue either. Even though I haven't read it, it looks like shit.
My
Wait, are you talking about the issue where Cream is officially introduced?
Yeah, and only for Cheese to be turned into a zombot.
Both Cheese
Okay,
and, surprisingly, Chocola. Yes, they brought that brown chow back.
Yeah. Do I want? No, I can't really defend that arc. No, because that was the weird thing about that issue. Because okay, here's the thing about this arc in particular. I think when it comes to the few good things I could say about the zombie arc, I actually think Cream is probably one of the better inclusion. Is probably one of the better written characters in that arc. But I will say in particular, but the thing about it is that when you're going through that whole arc in particular, as much as I do think Cream comes out well, that issue in particular honestly should have just been cut. It doesn't, honestly, it just goes out of its way. It honestly just kind of takes this giant U-turn just to introduce Cream into the story. For really, and ultimately, what she ultimately ends up contributing is, at best, at best is just that one fight with Xena and preventing Whisper from shooting Eggman in the head.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, keep going.
Say, it's great without any real explanation. So this is Cosmo Cuck.
The Gamerguyd is basically a Sonicized version of Cosmonaut Variety Hour.
Nice pause.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly on Storm right there, because that is basically us.
Also great dialogue right here.
Did I do bad? No,
Did I
you
do
made us look incompetent and violent. Ironic. Now we've got to save her, you jerk. Oh god,
That makes no sense.
far is definitely the battle for
I
Angel
think it's without context, but
Island. I love that arc. It's everything Force's wishes it was. The first arc was
and I don't like the comic for taking place after Forces.
Keep in mind, that was Ian Flynn basically wrote a beta script for that game.
Also, here's another chat right here. Honestly, I really don't care about spoilers for this series because I'm not going to read past issue 160 anyway.
Good words.
Okay.
Cool, man. Cool.
It's just bad corporate fiction.
Thank you.
Yep. Nice words.
Wait, what do you actually? If I can ask, what do you mean by corporate fiction?
Like stories, like IDW is like a corporate entity. Like it's all corporatized, meaning they can't make any good stories. Growing authentically and organically as part of the creative vision.
Well, okay. Never mind. Keep going.
definitely the slowest for me. Fallout. It was basically exposition, and so I'm definitely gonna make that a lot more interesting and more straightforward in my adaptation of Sonic Rebound. There's a lot of filler, in my opinion. Not a lot, but there's a couple of filler in
Yeah, there's a shit ton of filler.
the Fallout arc because
A lot.
when it first came out in April, they were releasing.
Because Ian Flynn is known for having that.
So, they were just trying to appeal to the masses. So there was a couple of fillers. So I cut a lot of that extra stuff in the series. Then after they introduce Tangle the Lemur, things really start picking up by the second arc, the fate of Dr. Eggman. I'm not going to spoil anything about it here, but I really enjoyed that arc. The arc was really good. I liked the twist they did. Kind of wish they kept it a little bit longer, but I totally understood. They couldn't go on that long, without making Eggman.
Yeah, they could go as long as they want. Look at the Zombot arc.
Yes.
Sales
Also,
taking.
keep
Yet
in
they
mind,
still.
the
So-
fate of Dr. Eggman. All you need to know is that it was a waste. I mean, seriously.
Well, and honestly, I'm trying to figure out what he thinks why he thinks that it was cut for time because like it was some like mandate or something. Like that, like this is one of my big issues when it comes to IDW defenders in particular is that if there's ever something bad that happens in the story, they just default to saying it's it was Sega being restrictive. It was Archie. It was like Sega, or it was like some mandate or some edit.
No.
no.
That's
And
not
also-
true.
Hold up. That's what I'm about to get to. The thing is, I don't like this mindset because it kind of excuses. It's a weird thing that just kind of excuses Flynn for any particular creative fuck up. Now, I think we can all agree Sega does fuck up, and I think we can all agree IDW is not a perfect company either.
Sonic
But-
Team also fucks up too. So
Right? Yeah. But my problem here is that when it comes to the fuck ups that happen in this story in particular, as much as I want to rip it, as much as Sega and Sonic Team and the writing for pretty much a lot of the games have happened, most of the problems that come up in these comics in particular aren't really issues from IDW, aren't really issues in the rest of the franchise. Like take for example the whole Tinker subplot. That ends up being introduced issue 6. Pretty much put on hold from issue 7 till issue, I believe, 10. Then it's pretty much resolved by issue 11. So by the second time Tinker shows up in the story properly, it's already being ultimately being undone. That's not a second problem though. But introducing concepts mainly for them to get kind of undone relatively after introducing them. That's a Flynn bad habit. Like he pulled that kind of crap. Hell, just in the reboot alone. Not only in the reboot, he ended up doing the same thing with Sonic's Amnesia later. And if the whole argument is just,
Only
that's
lasts
not
one
just
issue.
huh?
Which Sonic's Amnesia only lasts one issue.
I wouldn't even.
We
really
don't
like
even get
8
to
Actually,
see
it
what
was like 8
happens during that point.
Right. You know, no,
Don't they at least showed us at least a page of a montage of things that happened?
And now,
Yes.
like, they're showing, like, Mr. Tinker making a robot of, like, a creation assistant of his own.
Uh-huh. I'm putting a pin in that until we see. I'm putting a pin in that until that character shows up. In
And
the
we also
comic
get
properly.
music. We also get some lyrics to certain Sonic songs.
Yeah, that's
Well,
like pandering right there.
Well, that is another one of Flynn's problems, and honestly, probably the only reason he's able to has been able to get away with being being a writer for this long, because that's kind of what most of his writing is based around. It's just about fans. It's mainly based around fan service. Like this is what I was kind of curious about. Why I was kind of questioning about
fan
the
service.
huh?
Mostly nostalgic fan service.
No, just fan service. Like that's
Keep
like
in
for example,
mind,
like well.
this is basically the same author who did that fan comic, Sonic Other M.
Oh,
Right.
that piece of shit.
Oh
We
boy!
still need to do that.
Ah, yikes!
Okay. What I mean, here's the thing. What I meant though, like, remember how I said like he pretty much crams like 30 characters, he always ends up cramming so many characters into a story, even though a lot of them don't end up doing anything. Like in the comics right now, we have 30 plus. We have, I believe, almost 30 characters in the cast, not going into all the Zeddy. The reason why he does that is that he can if he throws in as many characters as possible, everyone who's a potential fan of one of these characters can go, my character's here. He gets to do they were here. They got to do something. Like when he came to Silver fans and they got super excited about him being able to do something for the final Zombot arc, even though it had nothing to do with this character at the end of the day. And that's kind of how he works as a writer. Is that he just crams it. He just tries to make sure he appeases people as much as possible.
You know what's funny? Funny? In the off panel in the one issue of Worlds Collide, Eggman's like, there's way too many here. Because there's a lot of characters in that one panel.
Oh, he breaks the fourth wall.
Yes, that's what I was referring to.
Also, like what the arc he panders to the most is like the Mecha Sally arc with the Metal Sonic final battle and Knuckles Chaotix.
Because like how can I say it? It's like
Even though that
because
version
Ian
of
Flynn
Metal
pretty much
Sonic
chased
doesn't look
Sally. He's
anything
pretty much
like
the Freedom
that.
Fighters anyway. So
And also the capsules in the games.
hmm
Just all feeding their childhood back to them. Let's read the chats. All right. I wish they make more Mega Man versus Sonic comics again.
I don't know about that, Josh. I don't know
Yeah,
about that.
I don't know about that because Mega Man is under Archie and Sonic is now under IDW. And
You know, it's kind of funny. That's the
it's-
equivalency of Sega and Nintendo.
yeah, it's
Sega and
honestly for the
Capcom.
best because I don't honestly, to be honest, I don't want another crossover. It's going to be written by Flynn.
And most importantly, if there are other Sega characters that at least pretty much make some sort of cameo or something, at least let's not pretty much have them flanderize, especially what happened to Knights of Riala or other Sega character for that matter.
Yes. Like they can't make all right, like this is what corporatization is. Like they can't make interesting stories without studio interference. That's how I view corporatization.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I'm not going to argue for like every last story like that, but it's kind of hard to really label all. Like the thing is, especially when it comes to how most majorly released stories are released now, whether they're in comic form, movie form, television form, etc. They're all going to be to a certain extent corporate. That's not really now. If we're talking about something that ends up feeling a bit artificial, or more or less doesn't seem to have its own creative vision, or just kind of does things for the sake of it, or more or less just because, to quote Channel Awesome for a second, because the chart said so.
Well,
Thank
sure
you.
But hold up. The reason why that could end up feeling that way, at least with Flynn, with his work, is because Flynn doesn't really have a creative drive. He never really does. He just kind of, even in his own podcast, he ended up admitting at one point, he just kind of pumps shit out. He will plan out particular events, but it's never to explore or do anything in particular. He just kind of pumps stories out, mainly just because it's his job description. He doesn't really seem to have anything else. That's why it comes off so that's why it feels quote unquote corporate, because he doesn't really have a creative vision or argument he's trying to make with the stories.
That's why I like the original creative Archie team, despite having problems though, like Penders. Also, why Grant Harper has anime girl for icon.
Okay, let me say this right now. Keep in mind, I'm 100% heterosexual. Okay, I'm not bi or pan or anything. I'm not trans. Look, the reason why I have this anime girl is, in case you don't know, this is B from Pokemon Sword and Shield, or Saito in the Japanese version of Pokemon Sword and Shield. As a character, as a character is pretty much like during the fact I was in this mindset of the Sword and Shield hate. I look at this character B as like, this looks interesting, but it's still bad. It's still bad. And then I went further to looking at pics, fan art from Pivix, or where it's pronounced, like, and I'm sorry, I'm starting to like, and started like it. And when I joined Anomaly Inc.'s AI core. And I always use the phrase "and don't call me B," and some of the people who will be friends in currently today, such as Wise Wolf. Actually, Wise Wolf, Emperor, and Cool Man actually teased me about me not being in denial about B, and it wasn't until Valentine's Day where I said, "Fuck it, I'm in love. I'm in love with his character." Yeah, yes. I know. Dumzo made a point about in Song 93 video that there's that like there's nothing wrong having having a crush on a fictional character, but it's also going to be a time where there's going to be like an unhealthy relationship with a fictional character. Thankfully, for this, before it comes to be, it's not unhealthy. It's just relax. That's all. But even though yes, it's a fictional character, but it's not like over obsessed. So I'm not like over obsessed over her. And So yeah, and also I've kind of come to like this character B. So and that's why she's my avatar.
Honestly, if I were in charge of making Sonic comics, I would try to include the best aspect of both the games and shows. That's just me.
Understanding.
Yeah, I would do the same too. I'm making my own story from 160 to onwards.
Even though it's going to be fan fiction, I'm trying not to be rude here, but
What's
You know
wrong with
what?
that? What's wrong with fan fiction?
I know. I mean, I'm a bit skeptical when it comes to fan fiction. Most of the time, they hit and miss. But when it comes to what Tyrex saying here, I think it's going to be a bit better than what Flynn's going to provide. Because holy shit, Flynn is
It may be
not
debatable.
good at writing.
No.
It's not planning out shit.
Yeah, thanks to Anomaly and you guys. It just inspires me to write better.
Same.
Hey, at least you're not afraid to admit it, man.
It could be applied to you and me and Tyrex.
Right.
The villain. And then Battle for Angel Island was just awesome. I like the whole Metal Sonic, Metal Overlord. I love Metal Sonic. Period. I really.
What?
He's chilling. He loved the Angel Island part.
He's just chilling.
Chilling.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh my god.
All right, let's rewind it.
Couldn't go on that long, without making Eggman the villain again. And then Battle for Angel Island was just awesome. I like the whole Metal Sonic, Metal Overlord. I love Metal Sonic arc. Period. I really liked it. I think it was the best it's ever been.
What the fuck, man?
Oh my god. This is Christ. I like cosmonauts. Oh man.
Hold on. I gotta hide that chat right there. Now we can continue.
Yes.
And it was definitely my favorite arc. It was just like a war movie type of arc. Just everything was about war, so I really liked it. Then the infection arc.
A war movie type arc. It didn't feel like a war movie.
No, it did not.
Wait, is he talking about like the first arc?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was more of a war.
Yeah, like Forces was more like war, but not in a good way. Not how it was written.
Yeah, it's basically cringy Silver Fox manual.
Yes. Especially for writers who wrote Happy Tree Friends.
Oh god, Happy Tree Friends. Don't get me started on it. Especially the fact that YouTube made, I think it's now unlisted, but I think they made like a copyright school video featuring Happy Tree Friends. This is like, what the fuck?
Why would anyone basically have that?
Also, there was another chat right here.
All right.
Fan fiction, in my opinion, is something when put into good hands, can create something truly special, as long as the writing is consistent with the franchise it's based on.
Seems legit. Seems legit to me.
Was really good. It was more laid back because it was the beginning of season 2, so it was reintroducing a new story. We got a new character, Dr. Starline. He's definitely one of my favorite characters in the comics besides Whisper, and I just really like Dr. Starline, And the infection arc was pretty good, it was a bit slow.
He's just chilling at this point.
But I knew it was building up to a huge crescendo.
Actually, I gotta be honest, it's worse than Shilling.
Not
This is actually worse than Shilling, because here's the thing. Because the thing is, Shilling at least implies that he's at least getting money out of it. This is just him putting up a video saying, I like random thing about this. I like this thing from the comic, but not really talking about why it's effective, what's ultimately supposed. Why it ultimately finds it good. What ultimately is he doesn't make a case for it. All he ends up doing is just kind of just listing off a bunch of things, just saying
especially for a 10-minute, especially for an over 10-minute fucking video.
Can I also say this right now? Starline doesn't really look like a platypus. He just looks more like a duck.
Yeah,
pretty
Okay,
much.
yeah,
The one
like
thing, what makes a platypus? The beaver tail.
yes, especially like one of the Down Under freedom fighters in the Archie comics, Bill Platypus, who later became like an egg boss or Dark Egg Legionnaire Grandmaster, has a tail like that.
Basically, I think you made a point there, Laugh. Basically, what Game Guy is doing is basically cherry picking. Well, I think like I could be wrong saying it's cherry picking by kissing while kissing up at the same time.
Yes.
Is that correct? What I just said there.
Well,
Laugh.
pretty much.
Yeah, it's
not
fine
just
what you said.
yeah.
This Crisis City, like this has to be. So far, I am really loving this arc, and I can't wait to see how season 2 unfolds. So that is my opinions of Sonic IDW comics. Very
And without any explanations whatsoever.
strong beginning. They start off on a very high note, and it's just been continuing from there. Like I really hope these comics end up being canon with the Sonic games and the Sonic franchise.
Oh hell no!
No.
No,
From
just
what we know,
no.
from how Sonic has been for the past decade and such, no.
Just no.
We got actually Laugh. You can speak?
Basically, no. I'm more or less kind of just in the same position you guys are. I really don't want this thing to be canon. Really, just because. Really, I can rip into a lot of the problems that both these arcs have in particular. But the one thing that annoys me above all else that I don't want to start being a consistent thing that comes from the comics is the bullshit Flynn tries pulling with Sonic at the end, where he's ultimately where instead of it just being, hey, I'm gonna be, instead of trying to go with the more cartoony vibe that they were doing during the Adventure era, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna beat up this guy because he's causing a bunch of problems. I'm gonna keep doing that over and over again. Here, they try to make it seem like it's more not only more contemplative, but ultimately it's just meant to be. But still trying to ultimately allow. It's, how do I put this? Basically, I don't want it to become canon to the franchise that Sonic lets Eggman go, just in the vain hope that he might end up becoming good at a particular point. Like, I'm not against like what they were doing, like in, let's say, Dark Brotherhood, where Sonic just kind of says to the side that, oh yeah, if you want to be good, come for it. You can always change your allegiance. But in comparison to this, where it's like he just got off his at best to be very kind about it, he's on his fucking second apocalypse at this point.
You want to know? You want to basically know a little something that actually worked way better, and Sonic at all wasn't trying to be the good guy fully for that. Adventure 1, where Sonic basically sees Eggman, and he's gonna go after him.
Yes, that makes sense.
Because he doesn't want Eggman causing any more damage.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But hey, at least we can say this: all's well that ends well, right?
Yep.
And Eggman gets away.
So that Eggman, I wonder what happened to Sonic.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to.
Yeah.
Also, a chat right here. This should just be renamed. These comics are great, and I can't explain it.
Man, Game Guy
Yeah, pretty much.
is really grasping at straws. Like when positive, it comes to the positive aspects, if you can call them that.
Mm-hmm.
If I know something, in the newest issue, there is a Knights Chow, so it's like, they acknowledge Knights! I don't care if it's a small cameo, but they acknowledge Knights in some way!
Please, just don't. I mean, I'm not into Knights, even though I just got Knights of Two Dreams, but don't touch Knights.
No,
Don't mean touch
it will
right
be.
Star. Don't touch right
just
Star.
10 times worse than the second half of the Archie comics.
Yeah, we gotta do that,
Mm-hmm. Even though the visuals will look a lot better, the writing will be absolute garbage.
Especially with the characters.
Just because the art in the comics, especially when it comes to IDW comics, before it comes to Sonic, are good or amazing, like people are draw well, makes you out to believe. doesn't necessarily mean they're good comics. They could have potential, but the problem is the writing is so fucking horse shit, and the
I
story
could
is
write better
so
dialogue for those guys.
Like-
poorly planned out
Like
and thought it out.
I love the artwork in IDW. That's the best
Well,
thing
most of
about
it.
IDW Sonic is like the artwork.
Well, most
Want to
of
know
it.
what's funny? We abridged that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, with the Flynn era stuff.
Yeah.
Also, he Cole has a chat, but I'm not gonna read it. Read it. So
Whoa!
Whoa.
Whoa,
That's
whoa,
the weird
whoa.
dimensions right there.
okay, yeah, that was Spaceballs reference right there. Just looking at that reminds me of Spaceballs. Okay.
I know. I love that.
Here's a weird question for you all. Would you rather watch a shitty review that gets stuff wrong a lot, but it is only 8 minutes, or a decent review that's over 5 hours?
When it comes to in depth, I'll say a decent review of 5 hours if it goes properly in depth and not just meander around and just praise the surface visuals of a movie that usually internet critics typically do because they're cinematically illiterate.
Oh, okay. Describe decent.
Okay, where are you? Are you like in a tunnel or something? Because you sound very echoey.
Oh, me? Hold up. How about now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Sorry. Leaning back. Okay. Let me ask you this. How you define decent?
Like average.
Okay.
Like
let me
average,
rephrase.
like great, like good.
No. Okay. Here's the thing. I was ultimately talking about like how do you describe a decent reviewer, but to be honest, I've been really hating people who've been trying to do like 3 hour reviews. They get to a point they could have taken like 10 that they could have just said in 5 minutes. But when it comes, so honestly, I probably would go with the shitty 8 minute review because at the bare minimum, there's at least a good like not only is it quick, I probably can get a good chance to riff on it, just if it's bad enough.
Yeah, same with me. I say watch a shitty video for 8 hours.
I mean,
Or
at
8
least you
minutes,
can respond to it, like make a response video on it.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
do.
I'm going 8 minute reviews, even though Mahler's TLJ critique video made me realize that like making reviews like they're like in the 10 or then under the 10-minute mark is just like it's like not showing any effort. But to be honest, I think the way he's trying to use time as a means of in depth is very confusing, especially the fact that it may go a bit off topic instead of actually getting his thoughts out getting his thoughts out quicker while keeping it in depth at the same time, so they make the videos quicker and more bite-sized and recently bite-sized and time friendly. So just putting it out there.
Yeah. I don't know. Josh said, I don't know why Sega takes all Archie character to put them in the game. I don't know.
Because, like Flynn said, it's defunct. The Freedom Fires are a defunct property.
You make me happy to the fucking Pontiac and Graph games.
Oh god, baldy nose hair, no copyright law. Oh fuck me. They have
boss
aged
battle
badly.
beaten ever.
Easiest boss battles being in every single modern Sonic game, except for Time Meter. Get the timer to go fuck itself.
Yeah, Joshua used to collect all Sonic comics when he was a kid. Cool Code 64 says decent, as in gets some stuff wrong, but overall has some consistency. However, it goes on too long and doesn't have many jokes.
Also, caught me by surprise is that I think one of the Happy Tree Friends writers who wrote the scripts for the Mario Sonic games I don't know if it's Pontiac or Graphic, I don't know. One of them wrote select episodes for was a writer for select episodes for season 3 episodes of Reboot. So I thought that was interesting. So
And
which it?
Sega has more of a hand with these comics than they did with the Archie comics. Like the Ian Flynn and the writers can't do everything. They can't write everything in these comics. Some things are off the table. Some things are on the table. We still haven't.
Which is Ian Flynn's guidelines he made after the lawsuit.
Yep.
Well,
make-
no. This is a different thing. Actually, he's completely wrong here, and Flynn even contradicts him on this because there are we don't really know the exact rules, to be honest. Like the mandates that we were given before were mainly for were supposed to be for Archie, so we don't know if those rules ultimately did end up coming over for IDW. Now, I don't remember which particular artist said this. I think it was Rafa or something, where they said those mandates weren't from Sega. Those were Flynn and the editor putting mandates on the comic to make sure that they stay consistent. That's another discussion entirely. But we do know that. But the thing is, Sega most likely, just from being a company, most likely has some form of creative control about what they can and can't do with the comics. It'd be weird if they didn't. However, Flynn has gone on record saying that they've actually given them more creative freedom to do what they want here in comparison to what they were doing in Archie. So it's like, no, if anything right now, this is closer to being his creative version than anything he's ever done before.
Does anyone like Rafa Knight?
Not
Yeah. Because she
I like her
I-
art, 3D art.
Yeah, she's also responsible for the widely used and iconic 3D model of Shantae, Food for Thought. She's the one responsible for that, Food for Thought.
Okay.
Okay. So
You
just
know,
let's point that out. So keep going.
Seen Supersonic yet. You know, the Babylonian Rose have only had a cameo. So if Sega has a hand in what goes in and what goes out in these comics, I feel like these things are really going to be canon. I would love this to be canon because it's about time, you know?
no.
What?
Please.
That would just make the games worse.
I remember what Johnny said in his recent Sonic on his Redux review on Sonic Cons. Let you Flynn write for the games. Yeah, don't let him write for the games. Don't let him write for the games.
And Cole dropped his iPad after what he said, too.
Like how exactly did he drop it?
He just let it go and dropped it.
Did he say anything?
No. He only showed me him recording the video of it. That's it. And then dropping the phone afterwards with what he said.
Mm.
And that was my reaction too. Like, what the fuck?
Why Ian? Ian isn't capable of writing the games. In fact, even Lance Jerkoff pointed out that there was a beta script for Sonic Forces, that was scrapped because that was written by Flynn, but scrapped because it was so terrible. And then they have to recruit the same two writers who wrote Happy Tree Friends to fix the script.
Well, guess what? Do you know what that makes Sonic Forces having?
Let's see.
The Three Stooges.
Yes. Three Stooges. The two writers of Happy Tree Friends and Ian Flynn. Yeah.
I'll say this right now, but I could come up with better stories for the DLCs more than Lost World. Yeah, I'm not even kidding.
So the IDW comics have already broken a lot of records. I mean, the first arc,
Cool Cole said, "Some call me Johnny. I've kind of lost some faith in him after hearing that. I dropped it because I didn't believe it at first."
I'm starting to lose actual respect from him because I remember commenting I remember watching Lance Jerkoff's How One Man's Ego is Ruining Sonic the Hedgehog, and it shows like a clip from one of Johnny's live streams when Lance Jerkoff says, "While making shitty Ken Penders joke and stop being funny later on down the line." And I was like, wait, why is anyone hating Sonic Johnny? Is there a reason for this? There's no proper explanation until one told me that the reason for this is because because and even that user who commented who replied to my comment says that he used to watch Johnny's videos in the past, but he stopped after the Legend of Zelda marathon because it's gone stale pretty quickly, and not to mention neo reviewers tend to parrot Johnny's words. Remember that Mega Man base review? Ouch! And not to mention the Neo reviewers tend to parrot Johnny's videos the same way that regular media did with same way that people that these quote unquote internet critics tend to regurgitate regular media and confuse Matthew's quote unquote opinions on the Star Wars prequels. So yeah, basically some calling Johnny is basically a Sonicized regular media. Ooh, ouch. And not to mention the opinions, Johnny's opinions on the Adventure and Dark Age era has been parroted. So across YouTube, and oh god, the videos themselves, and mostly, the focus here is Johnny's videos. Holy shit, they haven't aged well. They haven't aged well. Especially his Shadow the Hedgehog review, and also his Sonic 06 review. Yes, he gave it guilty pleasure and says it's not the worst game of all time. People, he always puts an asterisk on there because that still have a clear, obvious bias towards the against the Adventure and Dark Age eras and in favor of the classic eras. So.
First issue broke several records. The first few comics were the highest selling Sonic comics since the Sonic Universe comics or whatever. Like
highest Sonic selling comics.
Highest selling comics, bro. It went ground zero after a few issues. Granted, yeah, they still continue, but it went ground zero.
Okay, it didn't really go ground zero. Okay, it didn't really go ground zero. It still has like 10,000 sales per issue, but that's not anything to brag about. Like, especially for something that's supposed to be this big franchise, especially if you compare it to other similar franchises that are just about as old and supposed to be as successful. If anything, is kind of underperforming. So I'm not arguing that. I wouldn't necessarily say that means that it's tanking, but I would damn sure not try to argue this breaking any records, especially saying it sold better than its previous interpretation under another company, and it's not even outselling it by that much. So it's a weird thing to try to rep on. It's like, oh, this person's making $60,000. Well, I'm $60,000 a year. Well, I'm making $70,000 a year. I'm breaking records. It's like, sit down. No. That's not something.
Take a chill pill. And take time to think and realize that what you just said is the most dumbest thing that me, Lav, Dragon, and Tyrex has ever heard.
Here's the thing. I do plan on selling the art that I make, but I'm not gonna gloat about how much I make of it. I'm just more than happy that people actually like what they see.
I mean, if I ever get a Bandcamp account and also a PayPal for business account, I love to sell music. I won't gloat about it. I mean, if you don't like it, it's fine. But if you like it, I'm fine with it too. So.
I mean, for crying out loud, I do gift arts for people.
Yeah, she does.
Heck, why do you think I gave Tyrex his iconic look?
Yeah. It shows some appreciation.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
As mentioned, the artists on DeviantArt even did a free commission of my Emota OC, showing appreciation because he likes my my Emota OC. So.
You see? Positivity can pretty much be rewarding. But not in the greedy way, just more of you're genuinely satisfied with what you managed to achieve.
And the Archie comics, and I think it was during the whole Mega Man and Sonic crossover. So basically, the IDW comics, like in total, overall, have sold way more, have broken more records than the Archie comics ever have.
Not even. No.
No, that's not possible.
Besides the Sonic and the Mega Man crossover comics. So that's crazy. That's insane. That The only comics that are above the Sonic IDW are the crossover he did with Mega Man in the Archie comics. So the IDW comics are huge. They're definitely resonating.
It's not even huge. It's just closed in. Oh my
All you
god.
pretty much say is mega high.
Like this is honestly just sad. Like this is like I gotta be honest. This is these are new talking points to me, but this is has the same cadence of every other fucking IDW fan I've had to interact with, where they just kind of
Oh, the
talk
art is
about
great.
why it's good in the vaguest of sense, in the vaguest way possible, but it's not in any. But they never really go into like why or how. And if you push them on it, they're not going to be able to give you anything good. It's this weird kind of like it's this weird like whole community thing of they just want everyone everyone is just kind of all in the same it's kind of hard for me to describe, but it's like they're all just in on the same
They just want to fit in.
speaking the same rhetoric essentially, where it's just like it's good because really vague thing about it, hype it up even when it doesn't make any sense, and it's really weird. I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Heck,
Full Call 64 said that's like saying I'm getting rich as hell by working at a place that pays minimum wage. With the laughing emoji. Hey Ryan.
It's just like all they do when describing their opinions on IEW Sonic, they always make vague statements like you said Left. Like they always like praise the surface visuals, like, oh, the art is amazing, it looks great, if the comic is great, all that, like, what about the story? It's great, it's great too.
I don't believe
even
it.
noticing the obvious fallacies in the writing and in the storytelling.
It's like with the like with that person who's like praises IDW and bashes Archie, who is like someone on Twitter with a Daria profile picture.
Oh, tired of your one.
Oh god.
Yeah, she has a crush on me.
She has a crush on you? Holy shit!
Oh god.
What?
No,
No.
okay, no. Oh, hold up. To be clear, I'm half joking. It's more that she's really obsessed with me. Like almost every single time I comment, almost every single time I commented on IDW on my page, she was right there to like either share the post or just try trolling about it. And it even got to the point that even when I blocked her, she was still like she either like had someone else look at my page or she has like some backup account and was still just trying to whine and complain about me. Like you can even look up on Twitter. She was up until like August, she was still bitching and moaning about me.
Okay. I'm getting Rouge and Knuckles vibes on you and Tyre.
No, you're not.
I know. I'm just playing. I'm just teasing.
Same here. I blocked her ass too.
But I didn't bother Tyre viewer. I don't think I blocked her, but I didn't bother her. I didn't bother her. I think she's going to do the same thing as she did to you.
Not to bother her at all, because she will go up your ass if you ever talk to her.
Yeah, no, she did. Like I actually made the very, very poor mistake when I was like first getting it. When I was like looking to try to, when I made the very stupid mistake of saying, "Oh, let's go ahead and ask a IDW fan on Twitter what they think of the comic. Surely they can have a healthy discussion about it."
Nope, they don't.
No, she is extremely
I unfortunately
toxic.
picked Tired of Your to start with.
It's fine. Look, it's fine. Look, if some of you people who like it's fine if you people like Drawwell and Clownfish TV. It's fine if you like the comics, but actually give some actual legitimate reasons like you liked it, instead of just making these vague claims or statements that just flout. Just it pretty much reeks of fallacy and illiteracy.
I sent some links. In case you guys want to check.
All right.
Best pretty much just copy and then go for new tab.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it easier that way. Oh, and one of them is basically a comic I am doing.
Okay. Oh, don't forget to post them on the Tyrex server for so I can back up those links.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm friends with Alexis Chavez. I hope that's how you pronounce her name. He's actually in charge of dubbing Sonic Rebound in Spanish, and he tells me how big the IDW comics are in like the Spanish community. You know, with Spain, Mexico, people from Venezuela.
Basically, Rebound is just the animation of IDW.
Yep.
With the quality of the Junji Ito collection anime.
And it's also to quote Dumzo in his and in the video, which I shall not be naming in case you guys watching this, I don't want that video to get acclaimed too. Sonic Rebound, that piece of shit anime show by a complete tool. The show is literally just the IDW Sonic comics, but animated comics that aren't even that good to begin with. I see
Yes.
more value in Sonic Born than Sonic Rebound. Come on, man, come on.
And Cool Close 64 said, like I said before, good visuals do not equal good storytelling.
Exactly. Even
There-
even Mahler in his even Mahler in his final part of the TLJ critique and TLJ critique even states this. Imagine, like even states this: the effects will age, the shots will age, right? Like writing and storytelling is timeless. Some of the great stories were not modern.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter how much you put in effort into the visual effects and the cinematography and stuff, that still doesn't mean that the shit story you're trying to tell won't make your movie a good one. It pretty much tells you you're focused on style over substance, most on style over substance. You can't have you can't have more style over substance or more substance over style. You gotta have both. Otherwise, you get shit like Quentin Tarantino movies, which I know I'm going off flack for that, but I find their movies overrated. The Quentin Tarantino ones. I would just watch Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, and Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2. I don't want to spoil them. I want you guys to see them for yourself, but I didn't. I found them overrated. Reservoir Dogs I fare better, but nah. Like once again, overrated.
Colombia, Brazil, etc. So they're getting really big over there. He actually told me that they never really got that much into the Archie comics because the Archie comics never really sold in those parts. But the IDW comics just have a farther outreach because they're really good. I really love.
Yeah, it's not gonna be good storytelling like Archie had.
Yeah. And let's keep in mind that Ian Flynn really did not write really good arcs.
No.
Yeah.
Heck, especially with the outcomes with certain characters in said arcs. For example, Lightning Lynx and the Iron Dominion. Poor guy.
Mm-hmm.
He deserved better than that.
Like they could have had explanation.
Yeah, and also, did it really need to be Sonic?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Why Sonic? Why not other characters?
Yeah.
Wait, hold up. What do you mean? What do you mean? What had to be Sonic?
He basically was the one who had to fight Lightning Lynx. And let's just say Sonic won easily, despite the fact that Lightning looked like he was a lot powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Power characters actually beat up speed characters easily.
I can explain that. Flynn doesn't give a shit about fight scenes.
Oh.
No, he really doesn't. I need to find where he said this in a podcast in particular, but he did say at one point he doesn't really give a shit about fight scenes. He more or less just uses them for he more or less just says put them in and just gives the detail and just lets the artist, whoever's working on that day, they come up with how the choreograph ultimately works. And that shows in a lot of his fights because
they are terrible.
Yeah.
And poorly choreographed.
Yeah, like
stupid.
Like, don't give a shit.
Like someone could request some of the Ian Flynn's Bumble casts we could do in the future.
Also, I'm going to say this right now because because I tried asking Alex Hedgefox this, who I'm losing respect for him because he's he's shilling for IEW all of a sudden, and he
Your
never
opinion.
replied to me jack shit. Which fight do you guys prefer? The fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith, or the fight between Sonic and Tails in Enemy of in the Sonic versus Tail
House of Cards.
House of Cards arc.
Seriously, that arc was just stupid, honestly.
Mhm.
Like that could have been taken into concern after Tails says I hate you, Sonic, after Sonic is making out with Fiona, like a few issues after that incident. But no, it's just gotta do it now. And Tails is just grumpy all of a sudden. Like, bruh. I mean, it took place like a few issues after Fiona betrayed the Freedom Fires, but like, come on. It's like, oh, it's better late than never. So what's the point of having it in the first place? It's not better late than never. It's just like an afterthought or something. I won't blame the writers who wrote the I hate you scene from before Flynn took over, because they have a lot going for it. But and then Flynn just bring that into topping and just putting it there late in the game is just like, bro, you could have done that. You could let someone do that after that moment. So and also what I realized, like Sonic is pretty much saving the day all the time, mostly saving the day, and pretty much the center point of the IDW comics. Remember what Sally said in So Long Sally, aka the slap, like it doesn't it doesn't have to be you, Sonic. I think that ironic subversive scene made a damn good point about the IDW comics.
Yes.
Hogging the spotlight. And even characters, even side characters do get screen time, especially in some issues, but that still doesn't mean that it still doesn't mean that they get a huge amount of screen time.
But Grant, it's called Sonic the Hedgehog for a reason.
Just because it's called Sonic the Hedgehog does not mean this particular material, such as the IDW comics, aren't good or worthwhile to read. Then, because in years to come, they won't stand the test of time. So don't give me that bullshit that is just Sonic the Hedgehog, get over it. That's equivalent of turning your brain off over something.
It's like equals to Cosmonaut with the point. Star Wars characters are really lucky and are really good at stuff because they are main characters of a stupid action adventure series.
By the way, I pretty much sent something.
We'll watch it later.
I meant
after the video.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I was glad when the Archie comics ended. I think it was back in 2017 because I really felt like they fell off. The Archie comics fell off dead.
Well, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
wonder
It just
why.
felt stale after the lawsuit made by Flynn Pellerito.
Mm-hmm. It was terrible. Oh God! Blaze's smile. Oh God! What's with the smile?
I don't know.
Okay,
Even Silver's face. He's
I
like,
mean, to give the mocap team in Sonic was a credit. At least it didn't come out as like uncanny, like during the final cutscene and in Silver's story.
in the 90s and the classic era. Ever since Sonic went 3D, the 2000s is when they just
pulling the classic era card, of course.
Mm-hmm.
and quality, especially in 2010s. They got really fanfiction-y, and I'm going to explain in this video.
Really fanfiction-y. Yeah, of course, because it was written by Ian Flynn.
And I hope the IDW comics never jump the shark like the Archie comics did and go.
oh, it jumped the shark long ago.
Yeah.
Yes, it totally jumped the shark. Even IDW jumped the shark from the very start.
Okay. What was that one moment Doug mentioned about jumping the shark? Okay. I think I can get it. This is not jumping the shark. No. This is not jumping the shark. No. This is jumping the shark, coming back, shooting it in the balls, raping it, eating its flesh, consuming its soul, mounting its head on the wall, and they're doing the same thing to 12 more fucking sharks just to be safe.
I
Archie
I
Comics,
can see.
they peaked with Sat AM. You know, the whole Sonic Sat AM phase in the early 90s, the Freedom Fighters, Not Whole Village. I mean, that is when the Archie comics were in their golden years. Because let's be honest, the whole Resistance storyline and Sonic Forces and the IDW comics is heavily inspired by Freedom Fighters in the Archie comics.
Yeah, and that buried it.
Yep.
Very badly.
Shame.
Because Ian Flynn went to make a game to just bury the concept and defunct it.
Mm-hmm. Shame.
Oh, wait, hold up. Did he write? Hold up. Okay, I know this isn't super duper important, but this needs to be brought up. Did Flynn write the story with Blaze and Silver? 'Cause I don't think he did.
No, that's Evan Stanley.
Then
You
why
know,
the fuck is he? Then why the fuck? I know he's not paying that much attention to his editing because he was just showing some random shit with Tangle and Whisper before. But if you're gonna go ahead and mainly talk about Flynn in particular, is about his work in particular, why the fuck are you showing Blaze and Silver? Oh, okay. Wait, has he been mentioning Ian Flynn in particular?
Yes.
Why are you showing the Evan Stanley story?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah, good
this
question.
is from the this is from the first
Oh,
annual
God.
too.
Oh my god. Even Stanley, the same bitch that Alice Hedgehog is for some reason is shilling for her.
I will say her stories are better than Flynn's. That's
Yeah.
Well,
all I had to say.
this is what I was kind of talking about before with this.
It's
He was
basically
ultimately-
incompetent writers against confident writers.
right. So I don't think it's wrong for him to really say like, oh, he actually likes Evan Stanley's work. Like I actually read that first issue. I'm holding my complete analysis to at least see where this second issue is going. But I will definitely say, League's better than Flynn for the simple fact of her story was actually character driven instead of Flynn, who just kind of has the characters go from one place to another by dragging their noses and more or less being incompetent in order to do so.
It's just action 24/7.
And not even good stuff. So by that alone, I'm like, no, I can totally see why he actually likes this because it actually comes off like someone who's competent in storytelling. So yeah, no, I don't think so. I will defend him actually I will defend him liking Evan Stanley's work. So I will defend him liking Evan Stanley's work because actually that one issue was definitely better than anything I've read from Flynn. Period. So
Yeah.
I don't think that was out of the question for him to do that.
But yeah, it's a shame that the Alex the Hedgehog's version of Udon for Sonic is made this tweet out saying that because the harassment between the Alex Hedgehogs and certain someone a DAC fan who the tweet says it should not be named, but it's obviously DAC fan. It's
Yeah,
like
it is.
the more I've looked at it, it's like the Udon song is pretty much become toxic. It's just in the way you're treating a DC fan, even though he DC fan made some damn good points. It's just like
Even though I'm
like,
just gonna do
it's
my
like
own
maybe
story.
for Hedgefox altogether. So just okay. I understand what you're saying now. What you're trying to say, especially like days earlier on Laugh. You made a good point here in this stream, but it's just like seeing this evolve, and now seeing the Hedgehog's part side of the Udon song is going like full on, like you know what I mean, like say we're going this person needs to be banned for misogyny and all, that type of stuff, or homophobia.
That doesn't happen. Let me just go in and just say this right now. That doesn't happen in the server. It really doesn't. We have someone who was loving to talk about that kind of shit. He's still in there. So trust me, people don't get kicked out for that kind of crap.
Huh. Yeah, but I left that server already, but yeah.
I really don't care for it though.
Yeah, to be honest, it's like it's just dead in the water at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's. I mean, come on, it completely parallels that, and I know what I'm talking about because I actually read some of the Archie comics. I've owned like 2 of them. The first one was a comic called.
Pause it.
This is the best.
Pause
This is the best part. Hold on.
I mean, come on, it completely parallels that, and I know what I'm talking about because I actually read some of the Archie comics. I've owned like 2 of them. The first one was a called
the
Hedgehog.
No, I haven't been a problem. Seriously, he more or less said what we were saying.
That's not even official Archie. That's not even a fish Archie. That's a golden book.
A golden book. Oh god, a golden book. Hey,
No,
that's a golden book?
No, the next one we'll show is obviously Golden Book.
Jesus Christ, Gamer Guy. You need to proofread. You need to view read your own. You need to proofread
This is an
your
Archie.
own editing.
Yeah, because Sega of America exclusive characters are in these books are from Archie.
Well, technically, they're owned by Sega.
Yeah, and was
That's
made
true.
by and was drawn by a Japanese guy.
Exactly. So in sense,
Yeah, pretty
the
much.
plan is completely wrong.
Dr. Robotnik's Revenge. I want to show the picture right here. That was a very serious story. I remember that one. I think that was the one where the robots put a "No Fun Allowed" sign or something like that. Then the other one was a more comical, whimsical story.
There it is. The
Golden book. The golden book.
Oh yeah, Dylan Thomas actually did a sort of reading of this with his girlfriend.
Yeah, I saw that video. I saw that stream.
That was great.
It's not from Archie. You can't even read.
No, does this even count as Archie? No, it does not.
Look at the bottom.
This
It
came
says
before the Archie comics.
Look.
Jesus Christ, Gamer Guy, you are so illiterate.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Oh,
my
no.
god.
That was the funniest. That's the most laughed at part ever. Where he says, this is an Archie comics, even though it says Golden Book. Alright?
Oh man. Just like Dubzo said, what does trademark the word Sonic theories, even though the fucking dumbass doesn't even own the Sonic IP? Oh man, Game Guy is so dumb. Holy shit. Who raised this man?
I don't even know. I don't even know who raised Big Smoke.
Jesus Christ. Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. What?
Because the friction hurt his feet. But that's obviously not canon because that made a lot of people believe that Sonic is only fast with his shoes.
No,
Then
he
play
was
Sonic
born
Labyrinth
fast.
Then play Sonic Labyrinth if you want.
Mm-hmm.
But like trying to traverse through the zones.
Basically explaining, basically those specific shoes were not
Especially-
Sonic shoes.
Yeah, he doesn't have. He can have speed without his shoes. Just look in the movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I really grew fond of the Freedom Fighters. I really liked that rotor guy, the walrus. I like Bunny
Wait,
Rabbit.
whoa. Pause it. Did he say he's really fond or he wasn't fond?
Rewind it.
He wasn't?
He was fond. You know,
He was
let me
fond?
rewind it.
A lot of
Then
people
why?
with his
Then
shoes.
why?
Hold up, just let him speak. Hold up, play one more time. Just go.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I really grew fond of the Freedom Fighters. I really liked that rotor guy, the walrus. I liked Bunny Rabbit. I thought she was pretty cool back then, and she had like a sassy appeal. And obviously Princess Sally and Antoine and all that stuff. I knew about the Freedom Fighters. They were in SatAM. That's why a lot of people love SatAM. I talked with the people behind the fan project Sonic SatAM Season 3, and I told them I grew up with the show. I used to watch that all the time with the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. So I got my dose of the comical Looney Tunes vibe of Sonic and the more serious SatAM. But yeah, so the comics were running incongruent with the
Subtle. Looney Tunes. Subtle. I'm saying subtle because Lav, you have a profile picture on Looney like what's it called? Lunatics Unleashed? Yeah,
Yep.
Lunatics
Yeah.
Unleashed. I remember that show.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah, with the Samurai Jack part.
Mhm. Also, not to mention, Gamer Guy. If you grew fond of the Freedom Fighters in Archie Sonic, in pre-Flynn Archie Sonic in general, what's the point? And the Insanity M cartoons and Adventures. No, not the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Most people always put the before Adventures. It's Adventures, not the Adventures. What's the point of what's the point of shilling for IDW comics? And it just I'm gonna be wrong to say this. Like taking shots, it'd be like taking blind shots at the Archie comics. The pre-filmed ones is just yeah. I could be wrong. Could be a bit wrong, but just what's the point? It's like so that's reeks of hypocrisy right there.
Yes, it's
bullshit.
not
Okay,
as bad
I
as
was
I
gonna-
hate everything.
So here's the thing, and I was going to say this to the end, but I think this is a good jumping off point. Here's the thing: when it comes to the really hardcore IDW fans, when it comes to them trying to justify why they like this, it's not because of anything in particular. From what I can tell, and what other other people who used to hang out in those circles, the reason why they are so weirdly blindly in love with this comic is because it's more or less this is what they build their community around. This is what they have been wanting to have for Sonic. Basically, they wanted to have something from Sonic that wasn't completely up his own ass. Wasn't completely shit. Because as much as I can argue in defense of forces in a lot of ways, the IDW stuff, especially under Flint, doesn't trip over itself with how bad it is. And if you're not really paying attention, it's easy to pretend that it doesn't have problems. So when it comes to people who are defending it, they more or less just kind of they're more or less need to convince themselves why it's good. That's why they end up going after people so badly when someone ends up criticizing it, because they need to have this air of this is good. I need to convince myself this is good. This is good. This is good. And that's why you end up getting, and that's also to a certain extent why you see a lot of people kind of have feeling the need to shit on Archie, because
Even artists.
Because they need to be able to say that IDW is the better version. So if they can shit on that, if they shit on that and say like that was bad too, it helps them with their own view of IDW to make it seem better by comparison. Because it's like all they have to do is just say everything else is shit. That's why I can defend and like this so much, because everything else is garbage, but this I can stand by, even though it's also not good either.
Especially with Tired of You 1 and Samaj Hogue.
Who?
Samaj Hogue.
Okay. I'm just gonna assume I probably have dealt with them at one point. I just don't remember their name.
Yeah, it's from Lance Jerkoff. Like, yeah, I came across him, so I'm gonna press on.
The games, and I just loved it. They peaked, you know. And also, I loved how the classic games were adapted in the comics and told in the comics. It really just expanded on the lore of Sonic, whether it was canon or not. It felt
which Archie did better.
Canon.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the writing was good, and it inspired the IDW comics. And but over the years they dropped the ball, especially when Sonic went 3D, and then they started implementing humans. They tried to make sense of it in Archie comics by having it like Sonic and his friends went through another dimension.
Also,
went through another dimension. Like, dude, they're the humans, the Overlanders, and Mobians coexisted all together on Mobius.
Exactly.
They're not in another dimension.
This isn't Sonic X, you know.
Or the movie.
Oh, and by the way, those are supposed to be bats, from what I've heard, but they don't look like bats. They look more like foxes or mice.
Fennec ones.
Even up to this day, as a whole, there's the human world and there's the anthropomorphic world, which is confusing as hell. Sega Scourge actually.
And why do they have squinty eyes? Bats don't have that.
No.
My guys, he's stereotyping the Japanese. How racist. Well,
it's like Shane Black.
And the fact that it's in a desert place, I don't think bats live in the desert. In fact, you're expecting to see. I'm expecting Nephis to like pop him and question what the heck is going on.
But she's decanonized.
Don't care. We make these guys canon.
Video. But yeah, so that's when they started dropping the ball. I mean, especially when they tried to connect it with the games. It just they weren't doing their own thing anymore, and it just got to a point where they just started putting all kinds of characters, specific Archie characters. You had the old characters like Mighty, the Armadillo, Ray, the Flying Squirrel. You had the modern characters, just a mismatch of everything. It felt like your fan fiction,
Oh, says the guy who's enjoying fanfiction right now. Corporate
Yeah.
fanfiction right now. Hypocrisy, fucking hypocrite. Thank you for contradicting your own points.
Yeah.
When Ken Penders came in, and that's when the comic started becoming more of a soap opera. Sonic's
Hold up. I know you guys want to rip into him about that, but I know you guys want to rip into him about like the whole Penders comparison. But do you see what I'm talking about? He can't defend IDW. We're halfway through the video at this point. At best, he's kind of talked about. He hasn't really talked about anything substantive about what's going on in the comics. But the first place he decides to go when he's trying to talk about how good they are is to try to rip into Archie. You see what I'm talking about?
A bias.
Huh?
Yes.
A bias.
Maybe you could call it a bias, but it's really just more, really whatever they can use to fill their cognitive dissonance about about trying to defend this whole idea that the comics are good, but they can't defend it. They can't defend it because they really can't describe anything good about it. I'm not gonna say that they think it's bad, but they can't really describe anything good about it. So the only way they can really defend it is by shitting on everything else around it. AKA, they decide to shit on Archie. Now, I'm not gonna defend everything Pender's ever done. Like I'm sure there that he has said or things that I know happened in the story that I would raise my eyebrow to. But I do think he gets way more shit than he deserves. But even besides that, if you want to talk about why this thing is good in particular, that shouldn't require having to shit on the previous runner. Like I should not, like if I wanted to talk about how good Moffat is, how good Moffat's era was in Doctor Who, I don't need to rip into Davies. If I want to talk about how much I don't like Chibnall's era, I can bring up Moffat or Davies as a comparison, but I can rip into him. I can rip into him properly. But the fact is, he's not even bringing up Penders or any of his work as a comparison, other than just saying it's a soap opera, aka just hitting the same fandom talking points that they've had about Penders for a while. But he's never really. But I guarantee you, I haven't seen this video. He's never going to say anything exact about how it's a soap opera. He's just saying it because that's just another way to shit on it, so he can so he can more or less help justify why IDW is good.
Yeah, just praise his precious IDW garbage.
And you told me, Gamer Guy, that you want to spend 10 minutes of trying to break down which is better, yet you want to take shots. You want to take shots at the Archie comics because just on to spew bullshit to say that IDW comics are good. Like, get the fuck out of here. You can't spend less than can't spend 10 minutes or less. You can't even spend like under 20 minutes to like trying to do quote unquote breaking down shit you don't even know how to. Jesus Christ.
Mismatch of everything. It felt like your fan fiction, Speaking of fan fiction, this is when Ken Penders came in, and that's when the comic started becoming more of a soap opera. Sonic.
So what?
Sonic sleeping with characters, characters having sex with
relationships. Like, I remember this comic where Tails was very angry with Sonic and wanted to fight Sonic because he said Sonic hooked up with with the girl he was interested in.
Pause it. This is one of my biggest problems. This is one of my biggest problems with IDW fans in particular, because they keep thinking everything in Archie's Penders. Penders did not write half of Archie. You know who did almost write half of Archie's content and the issue he's talking about in particular? Fucking Flynn.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. What's the point of blaming everything on Archie? They make statements. Oh, Flynn saved the Archie comics from Penders soap opera BS. Like what made you say this stuff? I mean, please ask me. What made you say stuff? If you're not going to ask me, then tell me that's blatant fallacy. You need to be more specific.
I'll bring this up, but I may not be.
Yikes.
I may not like Penders in some such.
Like poetry.
Hold up.
At least give him some credit. At least his stories didn't last too long.
What, Penders?
Yes.
And
Yeah, I mean, he
ballers.
writes up his shit pretty quickly. Opposed to Flynn, just want to expand it just to appease everyone. And not to mention, he has nothing planned because he's keep meandering each issue and it gets old fast. Look
Oh,
what
yeah,
happened to the Archie comics until the final issue.
Actually, can I say two things here?
Rock.
Hold up, two things here. One
Say it.
one is about length, and the other is about Flynn's writing style.
Mhm.
When it comes to length, I don't think that's real. I don't think it's just the amount of time that is ultimately dedicated to each particular story. Like, for example, I'm a One Piece fan. I don't know how familiar you guys are with One Piece.
Yeah, I saw the anime on 4Kids TV.
I only saw
I'm
it
not
in,
really
like,
into
one
One Piece,
episode.
but yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
yo.
Here's the thing. One Piece is notoriously long. Like, we are not only about to hit chapter 1000, the current arc that we're in right now, we barely hit the halfway mark at this point, and we've been in that arc since 2018. However, I guarantee you, if you go to most One Piece fans, none of them are going to complain about the length. Not because, mainly because what they're ultimately doing in the story justifies how long it is. Because almost every chapter, like every different chapter, there's about the same length as these issues.
I mean, when you think about it, it definitely is a big, long adventure of different adventures.
Right, but exactly. And the thing is, you could argue Sonic could be in that same vein too. But the reason why it ends up coming out such a problem here, even for an arc like take the Zombot arc, where it's just at best 20 issues, most of it doesn't really justify being this long. Like we end up wasting 2 issues just to reintroduce Rough and Tumble again, and they end up getting defeated faster than they did the first time. We end up introducing a second issue just to get Silver out of the story. We end up spending like 3 or 4 issues just establishing establishing how the zombie virus is getting so bad. We end up having to spend more issues because Flynn doesn't more issues with the characters avoiding actually dealing with the source of the virus. Instead of them dealing with the virus coming from the
mention
Eggman,
how certain characters they do stupid things.
That too.
Mhm.
So that's what ends up making Flynn's storylines come
Example.
off. Why his length is such a
The big
problem. because-
example is freaking Shadow.
Shadow, for some reason, is portrayed like Knuckles. He's portrayed like an idiot.
Like a
He's basically
Vegeta.
being
esque.
portrayed like Vegeta.
That I can answer very quickly. Flynn relies on characters to be idiots to get a plot going. This isn't even new to IDW.
Only for comedy
This shit in the
sake.
reboot, huh?
Mainly for comedy's sakes. Oh, I could be wrong, but mainly for
No,
comedy's sake.
it's not for comedy. I wish it was for comedy. He does this because this is the only way he knows how to get from one plot point to another, and it's not even unique to him. Outside, like in the Zombotter arc alone, pick any character outside of at best Cream, they end up doing at least 2 dumb things that end up doing at least 2 things that are incredibly stupid to get the plot to get as bad as it does. Like, pick any character that happens. Sorry.
Tails drops the cure.
Oh, good one. Dropping the virus.
Charmy B.
Huh?
Charmy B. I could be wrong.
Charmy did the same thing too. After
Like,
being
try to
told-
save the
Charmy.
civilian.
Right.
Yeah. And that's when she developed I think he developed amnesia, like a concussion or some sort.
No, that was
In,
reboot. That was
in Archie, let's just say Ian really screwed Charmy over in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Gemrel not scanning for any affected.
And
Yep.
and E123 Omega is now reduced to only head. What's the point of having him here? If he's going to do nothing, gets defeated by the Zombot
guess what?
pretty easily.
And on top of that,
because that's because no, go ahead.
someone spoke to Flynn about Shadow's character being out of character, and guess what Ian Flynn said?
What?
I had
Okay,
to do it because Sega told me to.
No, that's a lie. That's
No,
a
hold up,
lie.
it's a half.
Fucking
Hold up.
stupid.
I actually do think he's telling the truth here. It's just not an excuse.
Yeah.
From what I can tell, what ultimately he ended up saying was that he had a plan that it had a plan for Shadow to get infected, where he was going to take off his limiters, and he was either going to use that to take out all the zombies, or he was going to use that to clean the virus off of his body. Sega told him no. They don't want him to do that. So he ended up going down this route.
That would be beneficial.
But the thing is, that's not Sega's fault. The thing that's not even that extreme of a mandate.
No,
the problem
actually,
when it comes, because the thing is, Flynn was just so committed to Shadow being taken out of the story, because let's be honest, if he was allowed to be there, that arc would have wrapped up at least 3 issues later, because there's no in-character reason why he wouldn't go after Eggman directly, nor would he be able to deal with the Zombots directly just on his personality alone, while he can make a stupid excuse for almost every other character. So he had to find a way to get him out of the story, so he ended up writing him that way. And I honestly believe this theory, he was kind of spiteful for how Sega told him no to that idea, so he ended up writing him to be that prideful for him to ultimately end up being that affected, which isn't too surprising, because Flynn wrote him the exact same way in the previous 2 times he's shown up in this story, both when he was dealing with Tinker, as well as when it came to dealing with when it came to dealing with Neo Metal Sonic.
Mm-hmm. Also,
it's just
Oh yeah, to quote Domzo, I'm saying this towards Flynn. Excuse me, what? Yeah, I've said it too late, but it sure is.
No, if it's
Excuse me,
what? This is just why I don't respect him as a writer. He's just so
same too, bro. You can clearly tell. I mean, yeah, I sound a bit harsh here, but. You can clearly tell he dropped out of college. Not to mention he writes too many fan fiction. I'm sorry. It sounds like I'm grasping at straws, but I'm sorry. But
which is weird because
so not.
you basically mentioned about him basically writing a crossover of Sonic and the Teletubbies, right?
Yeah, and Lance Jerkoff did a video on it.
I have not seen that.
Me neither.
No, I haven't watched the whole thing either.
Another Fox character, I think she was Fiona, and it was like, what the hell? This isn't even about Sonic lore anymore. This is about characters sleeping with.
Just like Cosmonaut says, this isn't Star Wars.
People's are Star Wars. It's Star Wars. Yeah.
We already went through that.
It just got really cringy, really fanfiction-y, and legit, I truly believe this is what started the whole furry movement with the Sonic fans.
Oh
no! Are you fucking serious? It's Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. Here's the thing, and I know a lot of Sonic fans don't want to admit this. Sonic is by definition furry. There's really that is not where that whole shit. It did not just start because of House of Cards, which again that was Flynn. This has always been being connected to the furry universe, being connected to furries. By definition of this series focusing on anthropomorphic talking characters, by definition, it's furry. You gotta just deal with it. That's the dumbest thing. That's honestly the dumbest thing you can honestly say, even if this wasn't in your script.
And how is romance wrong with it? Mickey and Minnie Mouse are a couple for many decades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They dare to act like a hypocrite, but man, these people are so heterophobic. Yeah, I'm sorry, I gotta get it out there because
Donald
Duck they hate romance. I
think Goofy's in a relationship with a cow or something.
Yeah, and the Three Musketeers direct-to-video movie. And these people say they hate romance. Yeah, they always want to insert LGBTQIA undertones, hypocrisy.
Well, okay, hold up. Here's the thing. You know what? No, keep going. I don't know his point. I have a theory about what he was talking about there, but I don't feel like defending it. Go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, and also, pretty much. I think I finished off what I just said. People who hate the romance, yet for some reason want to sprinkle undertones LGBTQ related into it, lesbian related. It's what? What's the point of hating romance if you're going to put undertones there?
Okay, actually, that does make some sense. And here's the thing about this, because I guarantee you this person is probably they probably would defend Bunny and Antoine. The issue here that they have is that they don't like how melodramatic and overly dramatic it got, especially when it came to House of Cards. Which, let's be honest, I think that's one of the many reasons why no one didn't like it. So he's focusing on when the romance ended up getting just overly dramatic. really just getting really mean spirited and spiteful.
Gee,
And
it makes you
yeah.
wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Also, yeah. Oh, are you going to finish something? Finish saying something, Laugh?
That's basically it. So, but well, okay, I'll follow up with this. I have issues when it comes. Here's the thing: Flynn isn't better with romance on this. Like one, like I said before, the shit he's talking about here, that is Flynn, and he like one of his other problems is that he just loves having drama, more or less for the sake of itself. But also when it comes to romance, he's shit at it. Like not just romance, he's shit with character. He's shit with character interaction.
Look at Sonic
Like
Amy, for instance. Holy shit!
I gotta be
so
no, it's not just Sonic and Amy. Like I would honestly,
yeah,
honestly,
that's
if I
so.
could say the
Not
best
that
example of how shitty he is with romance, I could go with Bunny and Antoine. Like I know that this was kind of a thing before he ended up jumping onto the comic, but the fact that he decided to take the most underdeveloped, the least developed character in the story, and decide to say she needed to marry the character who who more or less had three different personalities, put them together in a marriage, and all their relationship amounts to is I love you more, and nothing of the character growth or development comes off of it because of course they don't. They have their personalities don't complement or contrast each other in any meaningful way, and Flynn does this all the fucking time, not just in romance, but in friendships as well. So when it comes to Tangle and Whisper, while I do think at the bare minimum he does show like okay they at least care, they do at least have some basic form of a friendship. I would argue the problem is not the fact of like it has that it has lesbian undertones, but the fact that there's really nothing for their relationship to really do at this point that would benefit from them being in a relationship, other than the fact of putting them in a relationship. Like Whisper has more or less reached the pinnacle of her arc, and Tangle doesn't really have anything else to do. So really, the problem with the relationship is not how dare you decide to put LGBT in the story, but more hey. These two characters don't have any characterization in the first place. They don't have any relationships with anyone else in particular, and the relationship has already kind of reached the pinnacle, and you don't really have anything. There's nothing really else to gain or benefit from them being in a relationship other than just they officially say they're girlfriends. Which, what's the point in a series that doesn't have any where you're in an action adventure fantasy story that should have a focus on the growth of of a bunch of different characters? There's no real benefit or point of having a romantic relationship, straight or otherwise.
Yeah. Remember when Ian Flynn turned Sally Nicole gay?
Oh, I was gonna say that.
Yes, thank you, Ty.
But I see where you're coming from. Laugh. I see where you're coming from. And not to mention, I think, yeah, and not to mention, and speaking of House of Cards, I remember watching. Is anyone familiar with YouTuber named a source filmmaker animator named Mike Darklighter?
Yeah.
And he made a source filmmaker video on the final part of House of Cards, the confrontation between Sonic and Tails, actually, which which that video is up recently. I can't find for the life of me. If you guys can, that'll be helpful. But yeah, I mean, yes, granted, it's typical source filmmaker stuff, like type of animation. So expect a lot of literary keyframing, but at least choreography is here. I'll take that over what's being displayed in the actual comics any day. But unless you guys find it, you can't. I don't know if I can find it. Or maybe I'm just being lazy. But if I'm not lazy here, but if you can't find this video anymore, despite being like 1 million views, if you guys can, please, that'll be helpful. I'm just that the algorithm in the Google and YouTube search is just being bonkers, or you should just leave because it hasn't aged or something like that. Despite seeing 1 million views, I could be wrong, but if you can find it, that'll be amazing. If you can't, then he deleted it because I don't know if it's a personal thing or it's a like it hasn't aged well or anything, or I realized that the story itself was garbage or something. I don't know.
Probably remaking it.
Yeah, pretty much. I think I'm remaking it.
I'll say this clearly because I really wanted to mention this, but how is it that in these comics we don't see that many reptile characters?
Hey, only see it's like Vector the crocodile. So.
Dulcie.
Espio,
Mm-hmm.
Mordred, the turtle.
Tommy
Yeah.
Turtle.
Just saying, there's less reptiles. Why?
Hmm.
It's because they think they're evil or something? That they're
No, they probably
way
just.
too aggressive?
It probably just didn't really. They probably just didn't really think of coming up with any of them. Like, I'm not against I to be honest, we would really just kind of be theorizing at a particular point. I don't think it's necessarily anything mean spirited.
Well, you're literally talking to someone who's a reptile.
No, I get that. I'm like, no, I totally get the idea of, hey, I want some reptiles in the story, but I think it's just more they just haven't really thought about creating more reptile characters. I'm not against it.
Me neither.
I mean, let's be honest. This is mainly like a furry franchise, so that's probably the reason why they mainly focus on furry characters.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's press on. I
Yeah,
want to get over with.
the whole furry community with the Sonic franchise, because a lot of furries love the Archie comics and they really love this whole thing.
Not just
Says
furry.
the one who does Sonic related material
Yes,
and reviewing the IDW comics.
And creating Sonic Rebound. It's not just the furries that enjoys the comics. The artist enjoys the comics too.
Mm-hmm.
And even just casual readers enjoy the comics too. So, just saying.
Because that's when I tapped out, because the Sonic Archie comics have become something I did not like, and the furries love
What's the point of you making these videos then?
Oh my
Jesus
god!
Christ. What's the point of you shilling for quote unquote?
Remember, guys, remember. He's right now. One, he's talking about Archie, and he needs to shit on Archie in order to defend IDW.
Then what's the point of defending IDW then? What's the point of you dropping out the comics if you're going to defend all of a sudden defend IDW
Because he needs to prove that they're good.
Just Christ.
Yeah,
here's the bigger problem.
So stupid.
Here's the bigger problem. He's trying to argue right now that furries got too much into Archie. I don't know if anyone's been paying attention to the stuff that's been coming out with Tangle and Whisper. That's the fan art that's been coming out with that's featuring Tangle and Whisper. That's mainly furry artists.
Yeah,
Like, that's not even a rebuttal. They're just furry artists are just as into this, just as much into this series as they were with Archie. So that's not even a rebuttal.
Tangle Fox and Gemma art comes to mind when it comes to Tangle art, Tangle Whisper art. So bear that in mind. So I remember Dylan said a lot of these I forgot the quote. It's escaping me right now. A lot of people, I think it's a specific word, but I'm going to say people. A lot of these people are really like making his character a degenerate. Tangle, a degenerate. That's what Dylan Thomas says during a live stream, like regarding Ian Flynn, featuring Lance Jerkoff. Yeah,
you're saying Archie Sonic's made for furries. Okay, don't fucking that was a fucking poor straw man argument right there. You're saying like, oh, you don't like the IDW comics because you don't like its themes. Like how much you jerk off to those themes.
Yeah.
Themes, emotion. Where's my emotion? Warner. Oh god.
All right, continue. Let's continue of him praising his IDW garbage.
Oh god.
I did not like that. And I know I used to say the Fleetway comics were weird because Sonic was very much an asshole in those, in the Fleetway comics, which were in the UK. And Super Sonic was like the stuff of nightmares.
It's telling a different aspect of Sonic.
Yeah, Sonic having an attitude.
But this guy, at least it was more grounded and serious than what the Archie comics. Like, it wasn't about characters sleeping with each other and all that. So,
my god!
Hold up! Rewind, please. Just 5 seconds. Just 5-10 seconds.
Okay, rewind.
Like the stuff of nightmares, But this guy, at least it was more grounded and serious than what the Archie comics. Like, it wasn't about characters sleeping with each other and all that soap opera melodramatic bullshit.
Oh my. Okay, gamer guy. If you hate soap opera, do you hate the Star Wars prequels? I'm sorry to bring up, even though the prequels have nothing to do with the Archie comics, even though they are related in terms of how fanboys treat them. It comes to soap opera. Have you seen Melrose Place? Have you seen every Procter and Gamble soap opera in the 80s? Have you seen the Star Wars prequels or even the original trilogy? And actually, in fact, the OG6. Have you seen everything that even deals with this soap type of situations evolving that usually using the soap opera tactic, soap opera formula? I mean, if not, then you're pretty much missing out.
You know what? I actually like the love story in the Archie comics. This is what made the comics
Yeah.
unique. It made like the world more natural.
Mm-hmm. And actually make it more logical in a sense and more real life based
Mm-hmm.
mostly.
You know, so yeah, and like
Well, it makes the characters make more believable in a sense, opposed to this, where just without soap opera and Flynn's contributions to the Archie comics and the IDW comics, they're pretty much it's pretty much unrealistic in terms of personality and growth.
Yeah. And with those guidelines, kind of storytelling will be beyond fucked.
My God. Person.
W comics never get to that level. I mean, I'm not saying Amy shouldn't like Sonic and all that stuff, or there shouldn't be any love interest. I mean, there's always been it's always
God,
been.
the fight choreography is terrible.
I mean, just don't make it all sexual and like I'm watching some evening soap.
Since when was that a thing? Since when was that a thing in this?
Yeah,
it wasn't. He's just saying shit at this point. He's just like I said. He's just saying shit to justify his own. He's just saying shit to justify why IDW is better than Archie. Just saying everything possible and hoping to see what sticks. Just really, if it doesn't make sense, that's the reason.
Archie looks so much more epic than IDW. Like,
the pre-Flynn ones.
Yeah, the pre-Flynn ones. Like, this is just like he's just shitting IDW and praising his shitting Archie and praising his IDW garbage.
Oh my God, Tails' face is terrible. The way he expressed that right here is terrible. Oh my God.
Right now, the IDW comics is just full of life, full of creativity. But when it gets
the IDW comics are full of life and full of creativity.
Remember, Sonic should be simple. Star Wars should be simple.
Sonic should be simple.
No,
remember?
I'm saying this as the gamer guy wants to remind everyone without me saying that Sonic should be simple. Sonic should be simple and not complex like the pre-Flynn pre-Flynn Archie comics. It should be simple. It should be simple. It shouldn't have to be grounded in reality. It should be imaginative. Everything must not make sense. It must feed into my own mind to appreciate
and my childhood.
True.
Being fed back
what's that word? Appreciate true colorfulness of hunger and eligibility to keep my brain functioning. Oh my, and that's where I draw the line here, because we're talking about actual soap opera shit, like grounded in reality. That what makes the story great, not visual story, not visual. That's visual for the sake of making it appealing to cover up bad storytelling. I hope I'm saying this right.
Years later, when they're just running out of ideas, just end the comics. Just end it. End the series. If you want to reboot, fine. But don't just continue prolonging it, and then it jumps the shark. And then
oh my God,
I would hate if the IDW comics gets all weird and twisted like Ken Penders, I will legit just stop adapting them. I won't adapt those.
Get weird and twist like Ken Penders. Yep, of course. Ken Penders is the face of all evil.
Okay, Gamer Guy, please stop taking Ken Penders out of context. You stop taking him out of context. You stop.
He comes right out of nowhere.
he
But
stopped.
he said a bad thing on Twitter once.
It's like he said, Tim Pierce said a bad thing on Twitter. Yeah, granted, yeah, I don't agree with a lot of his stuff personally. I don't agree with stuff personally. That doesn't mean I'm labeling him as a bad guy or anything. Just like Dylan Thomas made him out to be.
Yeah, like
seriously, if Dylan Thomas makes a video against Kim Penders, me and Maverick are going to laugh our asses off.
Yeah, I'm going to too.
Because Dylan Thomas clearly doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
No.
And also, I'm going to be a bit hypocritical here when it comes to Alex Hedgehog. I'm going to defend him a little bit, especially the fact that the shit that Dylan pulled against Alex Hedgehog over a tweet about like how Ian puts politics into the Sonic comics, and Flynn just shuns it off as like, you ruined Ian Flynn for me. I mean, why? I mean, did you just take everything that people said about Alex out of context? I mean, even before.
Also, he complains about
Hedgehog's mindset he's in today. But
he got into Ken Penders one time with the Sally Mary, not a Mary Sue rant video. And he called Jeffrey St. John Gary Stu, even though like his substitute freedom fighters think that he's a jerk. Sonic thinks he's a jerk. Antoine, like a majority of the freedom fighters, think he's a jerk because even though he gets his ass whooped and outruns, and Sonic outruns him all the time, and Antoine kicked his ass. Yeah, he's not a Gary Stu.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong. I could be extremely wrong. Please correct me. During the Flynn era of the Archie comics, did he become evil all of a sudden?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was right.
He did.
No, because like during the pre-Arch, like during his during the pre-boot Archie run, Flynn had this weird almost kink where if he wasn't killing off characters, he was turning them evil. Like almost like half, like at least 5 or 10 characters during his run just magically ended up turning either turning bad or needed to fight against the other good guys for reasons. And it was really weird, and 9 times out of 10 was usually over some bullshit, like like Sonic versus Tails here, or when it comes to Bunny fighting against him later, Sally fighting against him later, fucking Silver, Espio, Knuckles, what else?
I remember when Knuckles. I think I could be wrong. Remember when Knuckles became the Interjack or something like that?
Yes.
Oh my god, that was some asshole right there.
Yeah, and he killed like a dingo.
And then he become good again? Like what? Yeah. Bro, he just killed him. Knuckles and Interjack
and his father dies on top of it, saving him.
And not to mention Scourge, not to mention the other like the bad Sonic, I forgot his name.
Yeah, he's cancer Sonic.
He became Scourged all of a sudden. It just to make him look cool. Like, bro, just because he's green doesn't make him look cool. There's more to him than what lies on his fur.
Like for my rewrite of issue 160, I think he could have the green transformation to be a little more powerful, but he goes back to blue because it works with his disguise.
Not to mention, the green could work as a super transformation, as opposed to just a permanent fur change.
It's like the equivalent of what happened to Knuckles. He turned green for some reason.
No, actually, it did make sense though, because
except he's green.
Jesus Christ, so many fallacies. Oh, logic. Why can't they teach logic at these schools?
Like Knuckles turns green because he's an Echidna Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
And what Scourge did is okay, it's kind of universe breaking. But
particular arc, because I'm not going to do that on my channel. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. IDW comics are overall better to me than the Archie comics. The Archie comics
really
with the Freedom Fighters, and then they fell off. IDW comics are on a great note. I love the Resistance, although I do kind of feel like the Freedom Fighters were more innovative than the Resistance. I mean, because the Resistance is not. I mean, especially the Resistance kind of disbands at the end of season 1. So the IDW comics is not just about Resistance. But yeah, I really love the IDW comics, and I hope it continues with the high quality they're delivering right now.
It is, the quality's going up a little bit, in my opinion.
With even Stanley's and position.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah,
I
I think like her run needs to be considered in a completely different breath right now.
Yeah, I feel like it should.
What do you guys think about this? Let me know down in the comments below. Do you prefer the Archie comics? Or do you prefer the IDW?
Archie comics all the way.
The pre-film ones all the way, except for 134. So that can go fuck yourself.
Let me know.
Fuck you, Mike Pellerito.
And big time. And John Gray too.
Versus Ken Penders. Just let me know down in the comments and just go hand. Let me know. Be respectful, respect my opinions and each other's opinion. All right, guys. Smash the like.
Look at this.
Rich's eyes.
Just the nice visuals, and it don't equal good storytelling.
Take care, and until next time, swag out.
Was I right or was I right?
We're all right about.
No, I meant like, was I right that he wasn't going to say? Was he not going to say anything specific about why the comics were good?
It didn't even go in depth as to why the comics are good. He just rambles on the surface visuals.
Says, I like it, and Archie's for furries. It's a soap opera fan fiction.
And still mentioning the same writer.
Oh, may the law. I didn't got the goop, not the stoop, that's the stew. One criticism, make a distract, there's the stew. One criticism, got a suit, that's a suit. Hey, thank God I archived Dunzel's video. I think I archived it months before that video got taken down. Oh, speaking of that, before Gamerguyd deployed bots and took down Dunzel's video, unjustly took down Dunzel's video on Gamerguyd, you might recall that Dunzel even mentioned the Gamerguyd snake video by certain someone. I forgot his name, but he has like what, a raccoon as profile pic. It's not Lance Jerkoff, I can tell you that. But Dunzel mentions a video. I think I said this in one of the streams I was in Tyrex. Dunzel even mentions that there's that you should check out that Gamerguyd snake video. Only problem, like Dunzel's video, you won't find said video because during the conversation between Egg Paladin, also Jose, and then one Gamerguyd's one of the Gamerguyd's and crew members, for some reason Egg, instead of actually taking points from that video while leaving the video in question anonymous, he decided to link the full video to him, to one of the crew members, and then Egg Paladin got blocked by said crew member, and Gamerguyd and his Sonic Rebound Twitter account blocked Egg Paladin too, and Gamerguyd took down the Gamerguyd snake video. So also fun fact, if you're on Twitter, when you see a news people like icon on where the thumbnail is supposed to be, that means that in case either video was privatized, deleted, or claimed. Similar how the poop poop emoji sign on Discord says that the video was either removed or privatized or claimed, indicates that. So thank God, as I didn't archive the Gamerguyd snake video, but thank heavens I archived the Gamerguyd busted video. So. But I won't re-upload it. But to keep Dunzel's wishes, I'm not going to re-upload it. Maybe I'll re-upload, but I'll privatize it, just in case. It's just for backup reasons.
All right.
You have to lose the original backup.
Sorry, guys. I had to use the restroom, but I am back.
Also, another question: who is anyone here's favorite Sonic actor?
Ryan Drummond and Jason Griffin, if I'm saying correctly.
Yeah, Jason Griffith.
Except Rod Craig Sniff. What he did, especially with that one Dunzel's video regarding what was the thing Emmy Jones that worked on, and Rod Craig Smith like went off the deep end of another user on Twitter. Oh my! I lost respect for Roger Craig Smith.
What happened?
Amy Jones made a radio show which has Ryan Drummond in it, and in the review I forgot what it is because it's been a long time, but the reviews for that one were mixed, and even Domswood was pretty mixed on it, and and. And then another Twitter user, I forgot his name, he even criticized the video, which Domswood said is a back take, but he gets why this user doesn't like this radio play, and then on Twitter everyone like what I think everyone went after her who criticized that radio play, and even Roger Craig Smith got involved and he went off the deep end. It's been bums, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Just losing it.
Pretty bad, I'm assuming.
Yeah, pretty bad. Even Dumbs would have called Roger Craig Smith out on the same video. So, ouch, and for good reason. So, oh my. Anyway, should we take a bit of a break?
Yeah. We'll call it a night here.
Call it tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the question is, what will be coming up next?
Next week's stream will be on the Nostalgia Critics Hocus Pocus Flipless review.
Boy, that should be
Yeah.
fun.
It's like a Halloween session. We'll do.
If you want to get even more witchy up in this in this Doug Walker, some of the bitch, you haven't seen his review on The Witches, 1991, directed by the late Nicholas Rogue. So.
Yeah, and Roald Dahl died that same year it came out.
Yeah.
And also he did the Scary Godmother special.
Oh my! I have the Scary Godmother the first. I have the first Scary Godmother special.
It is actually on YouTube if you want to see it.
Yeah, I watched it like back in 2007 when it was on Cartoon Network.
Same. I watched it when I watched bits and pieces of it before my mom got the DVD, which is actually a reprint of the 2001 Anchor Bay 2001 2002 Anchor Bay DVD. I'm not entirely sure what year, but yeah, I enjoyed that one. I even saw the second special, Scary Godmother special on Cartoon Network. Fun fact: the animation for both of these specials were animated by Mainframe Entertainment, the same guys who did Reboot and Beast Wars Transformers. So
Nice.
and Spider-Man, the new animated series. So
Well,
the MTV Spider-Man, to be exact. Anyway, we'll call it a day.
All right, this is Mr. Tyrex.
Bye-bye, everybody.
I'm Grant Harper, the emotional guy. May the force be with you, and let your emotion soar sky high. Take care, everyone, and Lav, your farewell being.
Oh, I'll catch you guys around.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Peace out. Enjoy. Take care.
See ya. Fuck him, guy.